Lisa Booth has been watching carefully. She's a senior fellow at Independent Women's Voice, and she joins us.
Hi, Tucker.
Lisa, good to see you.
That pretty much sums it out. Just, you know, be as crazy as you can possibly be. Well, one thing that I think is really interesting, Tucker, is this normalization of socialism that's happening on the left. Bernie Sanders is no longer an outsider candidate. He's a mainstream candidate. His policies, like Medicare for All, that used to be outside of the mainstream, are now mainstream policies. And the irony of it is Bernie Sanders rails against the government, but what his policies would do is empower the government and embolden the ruling class. But he does a good job of selling it and downplaying it. I want you to listen to this clip from last night when he was asked by a Harvard student at the CNN town hall, whose family fled Soviet Russia, who aptly pointed out that socialism never works. Listen to this. This is what he said.
What democratic socialism means to me is we expand Medicare, we provide educational opportunity to all Americans, we rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. In other words, government serves the needs of all people rather than just wealthy campaign contributors.
Well, and it's not just Bernie Sanders that's essentially advocating for a pending major industries. You have also people like Senator Amy Klobuchar, who's supposed to be a moderate in this race, advocating for the Green New Deal. Listen.
And I think what's important, as you look at the goals in the Green New Deal, and no one thinks we're going to dot every I and cross every T in a short period of time, but we need those goals. We need, as a nation, to come behind goals. We need the energy of young people and people that really want to move on climate change.
And Tucker, mind you that some groups estimate the Green New Deal would cost each household $600,000 over a 10-year period of time, not to mention the fact that fossil fuels make up 80% of our total energy consumption. But yeah, let's just move right off that into renewables.
May I ask a question, since you watched last night? So they're all for Medicare for all, and actually there's some support in this country for that. But all Americans, or everyone in Central America too, everyone who wants to come here? Did anybody point out how hard it is to have entitlements with open borders? Did anybody mention that? They
didn't, and that's a great point. And I actually believe that President Obama in the past has made that point in one of his books that he authored. And that is a problem. But no, nobody mentioned that. Nor, you know, and Kamala Harris also tried to downplay the impact it would have on private insurers. But she also made this comment as well, because guns are also at risk with the Second Amendment. Here is Kamala Harris talking about gun control efforts that she would want to take up.
Upon being elected, I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws. And if they fail to do it, then I will take executive action.
Yeah, so Tucker, basically what we've seen is this huge movement to the left, and considering the fact that there are so many candidates, what that ultimately is going to do is just keep bringing these candidates even further to the left. So it's going to be quite the show.
Yeah, outside of Brooklyn, not a lot of support for these ideas. Lisa, thanks so much.
Thank you, Tucker.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.